Now, animals like the crested gecko can make wonderful pets for beginners. Simple care, great personality, and you could really find these animals at any pet store. However, in that same pet store, there can be quite a few animals there that really don't make good pets in general, let alone for the guy that's starting out. So today we are going to be going over the top 5 worst pets for beginners. Stick around. Now this list is going to be about the animals you find at really your local Petco, PetSmart, places like this. You know, the animals that are there that you know really shouldn't be there, and you for sure know that these people, or people that are at least starting out in the hobby, should never get into for starters. And of course we're going to kick this list off with number 1, the green iguana. Now, my god, there are so many reasons why you should not get into green iguanas. Although it looks pretty enticing, you know, a nice beautiful green lizard for 20 bucks? I mean, that sounds like a good deal. Whew. Just wait, you do not know what you're getting into. Green iguanas are a bad choice for a number of reasons. The first being, well, they get massive. We are talking about an animal that's going to become full grown at anywhere from 5 to 6 feet long. That is a big animal, which is also arboreal. You guys know what that means. Big, long, wide cage, and also tall cage. We are talking about things like a 10 to 12 foot long, 6 foot deep, at least 6 foot high. That's pretty, basically, we're in an iguana enclosure right now. This room would be an iguana's enclosure. Not to mention the care that they need. These animals require a high basking area, high humidity, and also the diet. Now this diet consists of a vegetarian diet. Now that seems pretty easy. Oh, Dakota, no need for meats, no need for bug colonies, all good. Yes, that does sound right, except for the fact that this is again a 6-foot animal. This is, I don't even know how many veggies you're going to need. Holy, I mean... Lots of veggies. I can imagine someone that has an iguana is spending a boatload on veggies for it. And lastly, of course, we gotta get into it, the personality. Now, you think, you know, oh, green iguanas, you know, that must be a nice animal. Calm, cuddly, $20. Everyone knows about iguanas. They must be they're not super. They are horrible. Horrible. I am so sorry, green iguana owners, but my god, this is not a lizard you want. It's just the attitude, the green iguana attitude has to be one of the worst temperamented lizards that I have ever seen. Tail whipping, biting, asserting dominance, territorial. These are just all in all, not a good lizard to get. Green iguana, not the best choice. But of course, there's another green lizard, usually in that corner tank, you know, right above the green iguanas, of course, the veiled chameleons. Number 2, don't get these. Although veiled chameleons are of course a smaller lizard compared to things like the green iguana, these guys' care is astronomically difficult. We are talking expert level care, which, by the way, top 5 advanced reptiles right there. You might want to check it out, just saying. I definitely categorize veiled chameleons as far as an advanced keeper just because of the care they require. Of course, they are a high humidity species coming from places like where are veiled chameleons from? Going to need high humidity, but with that is the fact that they also need high ventilation due to the fact of being more of a sensitive animal and very prone to respiratory infections. So what does that mean for you, the keeper? You have to figure out how to have a high humidity dip that then trails off while being in a high ventilated cage, such as the Reptiles. Only that, but of course they are a UVB species, so you're going to need, of course, that heat liking, that basking point to an optimal temperature, UVB, to make sure that it is close enough to where the animal can absorb the UVB rays while also not getting burned, so it needs to be at a proper distance, not to mention the diet. The diet for the veiled chameleon really isn't the difficult part, it is the vitamin supplements and the supplementations that they need. This has to be kept on a very rigorous schedule, making sure that it has everything it needs in order to thrive in its home. I've owned 3 chameleons so far in my years of owning reptiles, and I have to say they are a very difficult species to take care of. Just the chameleons in general, it's definitely not an animal I recommend to the beginner. The chameleon definitely is one of those animals on my list that I am constantly worrying about, constantly making sure that everything is 100% right to make sure that this animal is going to be okay. But alright, we ruled out the green iguanas. Veiled chameleons? Nope, that's going out the window. But hey, there's still one more green lizard in there. Dakota, this one looks like it's gonna get smaller. Well, hold on there, buckaroo. We gotta talk about it. Number 3, Chinese water dragons. Now, Chinese water dragons, or as often people call them, the poor man's iguana, is at least a little bit better than what you would get out of an iguana. These animals are going to get not that 6-foot length, but anywhere to around 3 feet. Not to mention that they also, you know, they stay this nice, beautiful color. They are a better substitute as far as getting iguanas go. However, with that being said, I really don't think they make good lizards for beginners, and here's why. Although being much smaller than the iguana, these guys still require massive enclosures. This isn't going to be something that you're going to be able to get from, you know, ZooMed, Exoterra. It's not going to be one of those aquariums. These guys require custom-made enclosures, anywhere that is from 3 to 4 feet wide, at least 2 to 3 feet deep, and of course, at least 5 to 6 feet tall. This is still a very large enclosure that you are either going to have to source out yourself, going from a custom manufacturer, anyone like AP Cages, which, hey, that runs pretty high, $500, $600, even $700, or be a handyman, build it yourself. Now, I don't know about you, I don't know how to build enclosures. I mentioned while these guys are also very arboreal, hence that 5 to 6 feet tall for an enclosure, they're also pretty aquatic. They do enjoy large water features. This is going to be a tall area when you're thinking of a 3 to 3.5 foot lizard. Something like a large pond feature, maybe one of those koi ponds that you find, a goldfish pond, things like this that needs filtration and changing every now and then. Well, whenever you need to, I don't know, how often do you change water? I know how much, well, what is the, I think it's twice a week water changes. Now, though smaller, these guys still have a very flighty attitude. Not to the point where the green iguana where you're going to get charged at if you go anywhere near the enclosure, but these guys are very flighty, not very handleable, and really in my experience kind of just want to be left alone to their own accord. With that being said and everything that we've talked about, I just don't think they really make good pets. Alright, I think I've talked enough about green lizards. Let's move it on. Of course, these are probably what would be one of the most difficult frog species to keep, yet you find them at Petco's, not for very long. They usually kill them. Number 4, poison dart frogs. It still baffles me to this day that Petco would think about carrying dart frogs for people. Dart frogs are an insanely sensitive species that really need everything, just like the chameleon, at an optimal temperature, in an optimal setting, optimal husbandry to 100% good to, you know, make it. Dart frogs are very sensitive species, and they have a little bit of a peculiar diet. This isn't going to be something where you're going to get just some crickets in a bag, some mealworms, and call it a day. No, these guys get fairly small, especially the babies. You're going to be feeding things like springtails, dwarf white isopods, and even wingless fruit flies. There we go. For hard species, as some of you guys know, I actually have a poison dart frog vivarium that I still haven't built. We're going on 2 years now. Probably should get to it, but it's something that I'm really taking my time out. I'm drawing out, you know, what envisions I have for the enclosure, what I want it to look like, and I want to make sure that everything is 100% right before I get these dart frogs, just because I know they are a very tough species to keep. Here's some insider information. I used to work at a Petco. I know. Don't hit the dislike button yet. I didn't work there very long, a couple months maybe. I think we've got 2 or 3 shipments of dart frogs while I was there. They always died. 2 weeks in there, these guys had no idea what they're doing. I would come in one day and they'd have them in the back and they'd literally be just corroded and dried up because I don't know why Petco doesn't know how to handle humidity for a dart frog, but that just, No. I thought he was gonna jump. Alright. Oh, he did it! He jumped! Dart frogs, while being probably the most beautiful frog species, they just aren't someone I can recommend for beginners. Alright, here we go. Last one on the list. I have no idea why Petco sell them. It is an awful animal altogether. I definitely don't recommend them. Number 5, Savannah Monitors. Why, Petco? Savannah Monitors, you can find them at any expo for the low price of pretty much $10 to $20. People can't get rid of them fast enough. All these animals in the hobby are 90% wild caught. Usually it is shown that these animals don't even make it past 1 to 2 years. The majority are going to die off during that time. Now, This has to do for a multitude of reasons, one of them being the fact that we don't really have a full understanding about what the Savannah Monitor husbandry needs. There's a lot of controversy behind them, you know, does it need a lean meat diet, a full meat diet, an insectivore diet? I'm going with the insectivore diet, I think that's really how it's going, but I know there are a lot of people doing a lot of different things, and for some reason, these guys just don't seem to be thriving in captivity. It's really gotten to the point where when you first get your baby Savannah Monitor, everyone is recommending getting it into that adult enclosure, which is going to be an 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot as a minimum. Not only that, with them being a burrowing species, you're going to need at least 2 feet of substrate at the very least. Now 2 feet doesn't sound that much, but I'll tell you, a 40-pound bag of soil might give you an 8-inch, well, you probably need 4 or 5 bags to get at least 1 or 2 inches. Now, multiply that by 20 and that's a lot of bags of soil. That isn't enough to steer you away from Savannah Monitors. They're not nice. I'll say it. Savannah Monitors, not a nice monitor lizard. Maybe a little better than Niles, but really not by much. These animals are just, in my opinion, not a very fun species to keep. People seem to constantly be worrying about them. They don't seem to be too friendly and not warming up to habituation and socialization. They're just, all in all, not a good pet in my opinion, and definitely not a good one for the beginner. Alright, there you have it. Top 5 animals that sells at pet stores, and I don't know why. I don't know why they sell them at pet stores, because they shouldn't. Savannah Monitors, really? Stop bringing dart frogs in there. My God. My God. Alright, we're gonna wrap it up from here. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. You want me to do more top 5 videos like this? Give me a suggestion in the comment section. Anyone, top 5 suggestions, I'll do them. We got 5 videos a week, man. I need content ideas. 5 videos, that's so many videos a year. I don't know. Help. Alright, if you guys want to see some more of my animals or my breeding projects, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, DBCB Exotics. We're also on TikTok. It is what it is. Merch. This isn't merch, this is Blackcraft. Blackcraft, haven't hit me up yet. Call me Blackcraft. Sponsor me, please. You can find my merch at teespring.com/DBCB Exotics. We got it right down there in the description where, hey, we also got Patreon. Yes. Patreon.com/GBCB Exotics. It's a very cool place. We have multiple tiers for everyone if it really helps me out coming in and supporting a creator, and you also get very cool bonuses. Things like checking out pictures before anyone sees them and I post them publicly, seeing animals I produce for the first time, my animal availability will come to Patreon members first before the public, chance to get discounts on merch and even the reptiles I produce. All sounds good, right? Well, how much does that cost, Dakota? Probably $1 a day? Nope! That's wrong. I've said that a few times, and that's at $1 a month. It costs $1 a month. What is that? McChicken? A McDouble? You're probably better off over there. McChickens, man, that's some good shit, but hey, if you want to actually support me instead and get some premium DBCB exotic stuff, I appreciate you. Your name will probably be at the end of this, at the end of what I'm saying right now, in the outro. That's gonna happen right now. Right now, it's fading. I'm fading away.